A pleasant day to our research advisor, Mr. Jojo Marabligar, and to the panelists, to our fellow presenters, and to all the viewers. I am Kenneth Bardalosa with my groupmates.
And I'm Luigi Badillo.
Grant LJB Atienza.
Jana May Makatangay.
And I'm Karel de la Cruz.
And on behalf of Merrill Malabanan, we are Group 7 from 11 Sam Quintanar, and we will discuss our research entitled Students' Exposure to Social Media and Their Radical Involvement on the Societal Issues in the Philippines. Going forward, let's proceed to the introduction of the study. No wonder that the emergence of evolving field in technology has undergone a steep change in the landscape of communication, and it continues to modify citizens' interactive practices. Due to the abundance of information sources on the internet, the general public now has access to a vast amount of data. Moreover, it is greatly seen that the digital age greatly affects the perspective of people in different aspects by deepening their knowledge of societal concerns. As explained by Lim 2009, social media have paved the way for the youths to increase their political understanding through the reconceptualization of political engagement. As a result, through the mounting influence of internet, citizens have developed new ways of participating in elections and public affairs according to Chadwick and Howard 2008. Therefore, most of the Filipino youth are involved or influenced by politics seen on every social media platform that triggers themselves to fight for what is right, to eradicate what is wrong.
For the objectives of the study, the key aim of this study is to investigate the relationship between the social media exposure to awareness on various social issues and complex political participation of youth. Specifically, it sought answers to the following. First, what is the profile of the students in terms of age, sex, grade level, and strand? Second, what is the level of social media exposure of senior high school students in connection with politics and public issues in the country? Third, what is the level of awareness of senior high school students regarding societal issues? Fourth, what is the level of political involvement and efficacy of the senior high school students? Fifth, is there a significant relationship between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of awareness regarding societal issues in the country? And lastly, is there a significant relationship between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of radical involvement and efficacy?
For the research hypothesis, there is no significant relationship between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of awareness regarding societal issues in the country. And there is no significant relationship between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of radical involvement and efficacy.
For the methodology part of our research, this study employed the rational design of quantitative research. Moreover, snowball sampling, also known as train referral sampling, was utilized by the researchers to gather multiple respondents. Furthermore, a total 100 respondents of this study are the students of Tanawan City Integrated High School, specifically senior high school students. In addition, self-constructed validated questionnaire was utilized by the researchers to gather information needed in this study. After gathering the data, researchers used weighted mean as one of the statistical tools. This tool was utilized to ascertain the highest and lowest among the indicators. After determining the weighted mean and its verbal interpretation, composite mean will be used to find out the overall rate of the indicators and its verbal interpretation. Finally, Pearson correlation was used to measure the statistical relationship or association of social media exposure to awareness, social issues, and radical involvement of senior high school students.
Let's move on into the results and discussion for the respondents' profile. Table 1.1 presents the respondents' profile in terms of age and sex. In terms of age, the majority of the respondents are 17 years old, while in terms of sex, majority of the respondents are female. Table 1.2 displays the respondents' profile in terms of grade level and strand. In terms of grade level, the majority of the respondents are grade 11, while in terms of strand, majority of the respondents are in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics strand.
For the next table, Table 2 shows the level of social media exposure of senior high school students in connection with politics and public issues in the country. The result manifested that the respondents are always following one or more online news sources, which ranked first with a weighted mean of 3.29. On the other hand, the students never write blogs on government or politics such as politics, economics, or international relations, which has the lowest weighted mean of 1.52. The composite mean of 2.31 indicates that the respondents are rarely exposed in social media in connection with politics and public issues in the country. These results are associated to the analysis of the United Nations that young people's participation in formal political processes remains limited and marginalized from mainstream politics and decision-making. In addition, they struggle to partake in civic activism due to their lack of expertise and experience.
Proceeding to next table, table 3.1 displays the level of awareness of senior high school students regarding societal issues, particularly environmental issues in natural aspect. With a weighted mean of 3.85, earthquakes ranked first, which means that the respondents are fully aware about it, while West Philippine Sea arbitration ranks the lowest with a weighted mean of 3.23, that is interpreted that respondents are just aware about it. Composite mean of 3.65 shows that the respondents are fully aware to the natural environmental issues in the country. These findings are similar to the results of the study of Singh 2015, which concluded that the undergraduate students possess a good average level of environmental awareness.
Correspondingly, Table 3.2 illustrates the level of awareness of senior high school students regarding societal issues, specifically anthropogenic environmental issues, meaning it has to do with the impact of humans on the environment. With a weighted mean of 3.86, the respondents are fully aware of all kinds of pollution, which rank first among other categories, while respondents are aware about the loss of agricultural lands with a weighted mean of 3.39, yet it is the table's lowest indicator. With a composite mean of 3.62, this indicates that they are fully aware of the country's human-induced environmental challenges. These findings are in line with those of Anilan 2014, who found that high school learners in SK Sehir have a high level of risk perception and environmental awareness when it comes to environmental issues.
Shifting to the next table, Table 3.3 shows the level of awareness of senior high school students towards societal issues, especially in the aspect of economic issues of our country. The respondents are fully aware on the full health care and nutrition for the citizens with a weighted mean of 3.77, but respondents are just aware of the transportation scheme crisis faced by the commuters and the driver itself with a only 3.13 weighted mean. Gathering a composite mean of 3.57, this shows that the senior high school students are fully aware of economic issues in the country. Connecting it with the statement of Cabot 2018 that youth pertain to be the next generation of political activists whose ambition can harness to improve the democratic institution and to have a stable society, good governance, and good politics.
Table 3.4 displays the level of awareness of senior high school students regarding societal issues focused on public and social issues. With a massive weighted mean of 3.82, it can be interpreted that students are fully aware on the corruption within the country involving the government. And the far gap was still a high weighted mean of 3.34 for prostitution's practice within the community, respondents still showing a full awareness about this matter, with an overall composite mean of 3.64 indicating that the senior high school students are fully aware. Having a relation with the statement of Medina 2019 that the public has seen youth forward their agenda on various socio-political matters, and with the use of social media platforms, they amplify their voice to raise awareness and engagement to strengthen government response to the problems emerging in the country.
Moving on to next table, table 4.1 presents the level of radical involvement and efficacy of the senior high school students focused in political conviction. The table reflects the respondents are agreeing that they do understand the important political issues facing in the country with a weighted mean of 3.02. That ranks first among other indicators. However, students are disagreeing that they are considered well qualified to participate in politics has the lowest weighted mean of 2.2. To sum up, a composite mean of 2.59 that is interpreted as agree that indicates the youth understand most of the political government and having their strong political beliefs in themselves. The cumulative data is related to political efficacy as defined by Chow et al. 2017 as individuals' perception of self-ability to influence politics and their cognitions of government or other political systems.
Right away to Table 4.2, the table shows the level of radical involvement and efficacy of the senior high school students in terms of political expression. The table shows that the respondents are strongly agreeing that trying to change things was meaningful with a weighted mean of 3.55 that transfers among other indicators. Some of the respondents disagreeing in having enough time to be politically active with a weighted mean of 2.28 and is seen that it was the lowest indicator in the table. The composite mean of 2.97 that is interpreted as agree indicates that the respondents approved to express and possess those signs in their own lives when it comes to nation's betterment. The result connected to the statement of Caprara et al. 2009 that youth perceive ability to exert influence and proudly express their opinion on their contribution to political aspect of the country.
Straight away to Table 4.3 that displays level of radical involvement and efficacy of senior high school students in the aspect of political participation. Discussing politics with friends or colleagues have the highest weighted mean, which are 2.54. These results are supported by the study of Bartol-Des 2007, which stated that young people are active participators in politics and activism using digital space for the betterment of their communities. On the other hand, students are never boycotting certain products for political, ethical, or environmental reasons, and contacting official media to cover an event have the lowest weighted mean, which are 1.51. The result shows that students often avoid participating in political discussion in fear of being exploited using their opinions regarding such matters. With a composite mean of 1.76, the data from the table clearly exhibit these facts as most of the answers are within the range of early, which shows the hesitation or reluctance of the students in political involvement.
Table 5 presents a correlation between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of awareness regarding societal issues in the country. At 0.05 level of significance, the respondents' social media exposure is significantly related to their awareness of economic issues of the country. This implies that there is significant relationship between the exposure of youth in social media to their understanding about the numerous economic issues that is happening in the present times. On the other hand, the respondents' social media exposure is significantly related to their awareness in environmental issues and social issues. Therefore, there is no direct relationship between the variables. In addition, this can be the case for many individuals as political participation refers to the various mechanisms through which citizens can express their political opinions, exercise their rights, and influence political processes according to Chatora 2012.
For the last table, Table 6 displays a correlation between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of radical involvement and efficacy. At 0.01 level of significance, the respondents' social media exposure is significantly related to political conviction, expression, and participation. This results denote that as the respondents' social media exposure increases, the respondents' radical involvement and efficacy strengthens. These findings are similar to the results of the study of Zuniga et al. 2012 that is based on U.S. national data, demonstrated that after adjusting for demographic variables, traditional media use offline and online, political constructs which are the knowledge and efficacy, and frequency and size of political discussion networks, it is concluded that obtaining information via social network sites is a significant predictor of people's social capital, civic, and political participatory behaviors.
Based on the findings of the study, the following conclusions were made. There is no significant relationship between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of awareness regarding societal issues in the country. Meanwhile, there is a significant relationship between the respondents' social media exposure and their level of radical involvement and efficacy.
The following were recommended based on the conclusions drawn. Local government may encourage the students to engage in political-related activities. In addition, institutions may further implement programs and activities involving history, emerging social issues, and politics.
Moreover, civics education could be a vehicle for political action and confidence building. Equally important, youth may stay informed by subscribing or liking to news or other publication pages and channels that give accurate, relevant, and unbiased information.
Besides, youth can also improve the range of information dissemination and exposure through social media. Also, the public may use social media for direct influence. Lastly, further research could focus on different aspects and examine why youth are apathetic or focus on the impact of specific social media platforms to better understand how this affects the political behaviors and awareness of youth.
And finally, this concludes our research presentation. To end, we'd like to highlight this quote from John Ronson stating that the great thing about social media was how it gave voice to voiceless people.
At last, this has been Group 7. We'd like to thank you for your time and we sincerely appreciate your attention today. God bless and keep safe.